Hello and welcome. So welcome to my Comic-Con recap stream. I so give me just a moment. Sorry about that. Had a browser window open with my stream and okay, so I'm back. I will be streaming later on, streaming games later on. But I'm back from San Diego Comic-Con. Sorry about the lighting. It's weird. Not shooting it. I'm not doing this at night. Uh, so, what to say? Comic-Con 2017 in the books, Comic-Con 2018 coming in a year. Jeez. So we'll start with the fun stuff. Back in June, I got this box in the mail. Which this was the first time for Comic-Con. They sent out the badges to everybody. So that you could have your badge early. Pop out chat so I can see OBS and chat. No, intelligent person. But this is the box that everybody got with their Comic-Con badges in it. Fine. So we got. That's all. This is all we got. These are RFID cards. Scan. Hey, Future, good to see you, dude. All good. I just got back. So you got the Comic-Con badge. And then they also sent everybody a commemorative, and I'm going to take mine out of the thing and put it on my lanyard. A commemorative Comic-Con 2017 pin. And once we arrived, we found out why they gave everybody a Comic-Con 2017. So, this year, if it wasn't obvious, it's all kind of sponsored by Walking Dead. Walking Dead, all that stuff. And I stopped by the BBC America booth. Hardest pin. Some of the various free swag that you can get. But, so everybody got a different bag sponsored by Warner Brothers. Mine, that was Blade Runner 2049, the upcoming movie, which I am super, super stoked for. It's going to be a good movie. Got to see a bunch of it. Got to hear Harrison Ford answer that question about rebooting that has become kind of a meme on the internet. But in addition, on every bag, there's this little clear pouch right here. Well, what was in that little clear pouch? No, I don't use my bag when I'm walking the floor at Comic-Con. I got a backpack. Well, man, seeing the future. Yeah, and I'll be on later to do some gaming too. But everybody got a DC pin. I have Green Arrow now. I originally got Batman, but I made a line friend when I was in line getting my bag, and I got Batman, she got Green Arrow, and I like Green Arrow more than Batman, so I traded her for Green Arrow, because why not? The coveted one of Comic-Con was of course, Wonder Woman. It was Batman, Superman, Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, Flash. Batman, Superman, Flash, and Aquaman. I think it was Aquaman. I got the one I cared about, which was Green Arrow. If I'd gotten Wonder Woman, I would have also not complained about getting her. What is that? And then the box had some various other stuff in it. But what I did is I went first thing from Comic-Con. I arrived, I went to HopCon on preview night as opposed to going to preview night. But the first thing that I did was I went to the Fox Studios panel, which up until 2 days before Comic-Con had just been Fox Studios. So nobody knew what it was, and everybody was assuming that it was going to be Deadpool and Dark Phoenix. I hoped that we were all wrong. 2 days before, they changed it to Kingsman Golden Circle. Too dark to see that. My lighting is crap. So as I walk into Hall H, because I was the only person in my group that wanted to go to it, I was handed a bag that I just threw on the ground with this shirt, which replicates Eggsy's shirt from me, and a Kingsman fidget spinner. Now, I have friends and acquaintances who hate these things. I've always been intrigued by them. But I'm never going to turn down a free one. Because you're stupid if you turn down a free anything. Because it's just not worthwhile to just blow something off if it's free. So that. I gotta do a little recap of my own. Go and check my schedule so I remember exactly where I was each day. Started out with, of course, as I said, the Kingsman panel in Hall H, which, if you're going to the first panel on Thursday on Hall H and it's not something huge, which it's never been something like super huge, it's fairly easy to get into on Thursday because people are tired. It's the first day, so people are still arriving. They're getting checked in their hotels, and then they're going to head over to the con. So there's not like a big lineup. Some people will line up for the Thursday panel. We were going to when we thought it was going to be Deadpool. But, so then on Thursday, I went to the 2017 the State of Iron Man Tech panel, and that was a group of people. There's a video on the internet that I hadn't seen, but somebody created a wingless Iron Man, not as nice and compact and elegant as Iron Man, but 2 kerosene-powered jet engines, 1 on each hand and then 2 on the back, so 4 total, to achieve wingless human flight. And that was pretty cool. It was a good panel. Not really a lot to say there. If you got any questions, please feel free to throw them my way. Then I went and strolled the floor. Got some stuff. I'm gonna do the show off of the purchased merch, the purchased stuff, stack of it. I did while I was walking the floor, and this is gonna get given away to somebody probably locally. I got a DC Superhero Girls tape, kid-sized, of course. But I'm not going to turn down free stuff, because never turn down free stuff. So after doing that, I was thinking, I decided I was going to try to go to Ballroom 20, which is the second largest venue at Comic-Con. for the Inhumans panel, the Marvel Inhumans for the upcoming TV show, which is being released on IMAX September 1st, and then later in September on ABC with additional footage. So September 1st in theaters on IMAX. September 29th, I think it was, 26th, 29th, one of those, on ABC with more footage. So a variant. So there's going to be stuff that, so they're going to, basically what it is what they can get done effect shot wise and make sense in IMAX for the IMAX, and then everything will be done on the 29th. So it's kind of a sneak peek of it that you're going to have to pay. But because if you're at Comic-Con, you can't just show up at the time of the panel. You can't just show up like just in between panels and think you're getting in. You're gonna have to get there a couple panels early. So I rolled in. I don't even remember what the panel was that when I walked into Ballroom 20, but I got to see the Legion presentation, and that they give us Legion shirts because Comic-Con is nothing but if nothing full of swag, and a lot of T-shirts. And that was good. Legion, now I'm going to actually sit back and watch it because now I actually want to. And then Friday is the day I love at Comic-Con. I have a group that is LineCon, which if you want to follow one of the other members of LineCon, it is Domino's Beard. Go follow him. It's great. He hasn't been streaming a lot of late. He's been busy with his day job. But he will be back, and we're gonna do kind of our collective Comic-Con recap together. And so I had a lot of fun with that. But Friday is spending the bulk of the day, since we've a large group of people, so we get a spot in line and we rotate people in, so we kind of take things in shifts. Because Friday is waiting for one of these. This is a wristband from Saturday Hall H. This is what everybody wants to be in. This is where everybody wants to be at Comic-Con. This is the one that up until, I think, last year, you had to camp out overnight to get into. And I am not camping out on cold ground if I don't have to. Obviously, I didn't. That's what the wristbands are for. There's a big chaos on Saturday. I'll get to that when we start the Saturday stuff. But because we worked in shift, I did actually get to do some stuff on Saturday, or on Friday. I went to the Mechanized Magic 55 years of theme park animatronics with Bob Gurr, the Disney legend, one of the original Imagineers, one of the people who built the stuff that's in Disneyland. And quite frankly, a lot of his stuff is still in Disneyland because he built it to be bulletproof. And Garner Holt, the founder and head of Garner Holt Productions, which is the company that makes a lot of animatronics for theme parks. They are one of the primary ones for that Disney uses. They showed off a lot of early stuff. They showed up some modern stuff. We got to see because it wasn't theirs. I'm not sure who it was. I don't know about as much about theme park and animatronics as one of my other compatriots, amongst things. But we got to see. They showed off without the skin one of the Na'vi from the River Adventure in Florida at Walt Disney World. And then they showed off with its skin on, so you couldn't see any of the internals, one of the next generation heads that Garner Holt is working on. And the video that we saw, and it wasn't a rendering, it wasn't like in real time actual motion, like just video of it. Not real time, like like it's somewhere and we're watching it as it's happening. It was, of course, recorded video, but it was as emotive a face as you or me, and full range, full like it wasn't like it can do this really well, but this is off. It looked like a human face, and it responded like a human face. It was amazing. Then I went and returned back to Line, and I met up with one of my Line compatriots, and for a brief period of time relieved my friends Jessica and Sean. Jessica didn't have a Friday pass, but she was able to get one for Saturday, and she had Thursday, Saturday. Hey, famished. But so I did my first ever. After some more came to relieve me, after I took over for my friends Jess and Sean, went over and did the offsite for the upcoming Fox TV show Gifted, which is their Fox main channel, not FX, but Fox main channel mutant TV show. And they did picture I did X-Gene screening station. I was not a mutant. If I'd been one, it's a wanted poster instead of this style. But what was particularly cool is for the bulk of the people that went through, they actually did an actual MyHeritage DNA DNA test. So it's an actual like DNA test for like your ancestry and that, and gratis. That was pretty cool. Then camped out, then sat around for many hours until about 10:30 when I was able to get this. No, I'm sorry, I don't have a good batch of lights in here. I just don't have that set up. See now that my face is better lit, but it's recognized that it's because I've got the black shirt on. My camera is deciding to focus on that. I have no idea. I will find out in. I have no idea. I will find out in a couple of weeks because it's not immediate. I'll find out in a couple of weeks what my ancestry says from the MyHeritage DNA thing. Who knows? I figure I'm probably a big bunch of white, but and then we get on to the thing that everybody wants to hear about. Saturday, Hall H Comic-Con. I've seen stuff that you haven't seen, and you wouldn't believe. So, first up was Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Studios. First thing. So the way that Hall H works on, particularly Saturday. Saturday is the big day. Yes, Echo. White means bread. I'm a cracker. So the way that it works is you line up and you get a wristband, and once you have your wristband, you have the option to camp out, or you can leave and you have to be back at the end of the line of the people who camped out. So you don't get to keep your spot just because you got your wristband. You have to come back and get to the end of the line. But you get to sleep in your hotel bed as opposed to on the cold, hard ground. And that's what we did. And you have to be back by 7:30 in the morning. So my friends and I got back to line at about 6. Met up with our group. We had 12 people in our what we refer to as line con. And everybody like last year we were calling it line con, but it seems everybody. Yes, you can, but there's a difference between a tent and like a sleeping bag and like an actual hotel bed. And the hotel we were at has a shuttle between the 24 hours a day between the convention center and there. And as long as I'm in the room, I don't have to be like face to face with Steven Spielberg. I can be in the back, which is where I was. Because somebody made counterfeit wristbands this year. And so there were a lot of people who camped out like I did all of Friday and didn't get in for Saturday, even though they had the wristband. So they're going to have to do something about that next year. Hopefully they don't go back to you can't leave, because that would suck. So we start with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers started out with Ready Player One, where we had Steven. Okay, so panel was hosted by Chris Hardwick, who is the best panel moderator at Comic-Con. Like, bar none, best, period. If you're gonna see a panel at Comic-Con, and if it's moderated by Chris Hardwick, it is going to be awesome. Because he can moderate a panel like nobody's business. Then, Steven friggin' Spielberg. I know Ernest Cline was there. He's the guy who wrote Ready Player One, and there was the co-writer of the screenplay for Ready Player One. But being in the room with Steven friggin' Spielberg, this is the man who made... I don't know about you, but my childhood was all Spielberg. Except for a little bit of Lucas. Spielberg, Lucas. That was my childhood. That was what mattered in my formative years. Spielberg is the reason we have summer blockbusters. Without Jaws, there would be no summer blockbusters. Period. End of story. Got to hear a bunch on that. Then, after that was done, and I mean, there was nothing different that you haven't seen. If you go online and see the trailer, you'll see the same thing I saw. I just saw it way bigger and with 6,500 people. Then, Blade Runner 2049. Same thing. Denis Villeneuve, Harrison, all of the whole cast. I mean, all the cast that was there. It was great. But that question that has become a meme on the internet about Harrison Ford rebooting everything or rekindling it was there for that. It was hilarious. Saw it on a big screen. Because the people, the stage, in my view, was that big, and the people were about that big. So I'm watching most of it on a screen, but even though I'm watching it on a screen, there's a... You know, dude's earned the ability to do whatever he wants to do. Famished. I mean, let's just be realistic. Dude can... If dude didn't want to make another movie in his life, he could do that. And we couldn't bitch. We couldn't complain. There's nothing we could do. I'm not a particularly big fan either, but that's the way it is. Switch things over. I'll be right back. I'm going to quickly see some of my backlight. Not much, but maybe it'll help a little bit. Helped a little. There we go. But then we got the first thing that I have seen that you have not and probably won't see. It was the teaser trailer for Aquaman. Now, I don't know if it's been released since, but the reason why they have not released it yet, or at least they hadn't when they were originally planning on it, is as a punishment to good old Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa. I don't know. But Jason, the reason why they're doing that is because Jason Momoa went up on stage in Hall H in front of 6,500 people and told everybody who was there who the main villain, not revealed by DC, not revealed by Warner, of Aquaman was going to be. So the punishment is that the teaser trailer is not up for y'all. I've seen it. No punishment to me. I really don't think it was that big of a punishment to Jason Momoa. Nope. Will Black Manta be in the movie? Yes. We already know that. We've already seen the concept art for Black Manta. Black Manta is not the main villain of Aquaman. Spoilers here. You want to know, just say so in chat. If not, I'm going to tap my head, and I'm going to tap again after I tell you. If you don't want to know, you can mute the stream now. Main villain of Aquaman is Ocean Master. You can come back now. I've now spoiled who the main villain of Aquaman is. Got to see that whole beautiful lineup of all the stuff that they've got planned. Flashpoint, Green Lantern Corps, Justice League Dark, which is the one that I am most looking forward to, other than Batgirl, because Batgirl is going to be amazing. So good stuff there. Then we went on to dude. He made the 6,500 people in Hall H incredibly happy, and everybody who they're talking to, because you're hearing it from me now. It just bums me out that you guys don't get to see that. Because it was amazing. Couple guys fishing in a little boat, and then one guy's reel keeps paying off and keeps going and going and going. Like, tries to reel in a little bit, and it just ain't happening. And then reaches the end of the line, fishing rod goes, sea monster, like Aquaman, like you expect, sea monster goes beside their boat. Look over the side of the boat, just a fucking fleet of Atlantean-style submarines. Just a thing of awesome. I mean, and then a few scenes. We didn't get to see Mira. Didn't get to see Ocean Master. Got to see some concept art of that, but of Ocean Master and of Black Manta, because we know both of them are going to be in. Black Manta was already pretty much confirmed, but we weren't sure about Ocean Master. But we got to see some concept stuff of Ocean Master. But it was really all the Justice League trailer. That's the biggest thing. Other than that, and y'all have seen that. The only thing from Warner Brothers that you have not seen is the Aquaman teaser, and you can blame Jason Momoa for that. But at the same time, he did something awesome for us for the Comic-Con people that were there and just watching. I don't hold out a lot of hope for Justice League. I'm just gonna be honest with you. There are gonna be some funny moments, but I think that Snyder had some good ideas, but I think they gave him too much reign and didn't rein him in. And Warner Brothers has owned DC for so long that they don't know how to make they don't know what it's like to scrounge to try and make a comic book. So from there we went to Charlize Theron's panel, which was the Entertainment Weekly Women Who Kick Ass. Sorry, let me get it. Entertainment Weekly's Women Who Kick Ass Icon Edition with Charlize Theron. It was basically a Entertainment Weekly paid for, because the panels aren't free, the studios are paying. It was basically an Entertainment Weekly paid for Atomic Blonde panel. And I have heard good things about Atomic Blonde. One of the people in my group, immediately after the Marvel panel in Hall H, went to a screening and has seen Atomic Blonde. And it was apparently really good. Not like John Wick good, but like maybe just a couple of steps down. So, there's an action sequence that we got to see part of that like continued on for another 10 minutes beyond what we saw. But I mean, the weakest panel of Comic-Con every year that I have got. I mean, my whopping 2 years of Comic-Con experience. Well, we're getting one. We didn't see that in any of the panels, but we are getting one, Femish. We are getting a new Hellboy. Ron Perlman, not Hellboy though. And I'm gonna bring that up because that ties in with the next panel after this one. Yeah, they've already announced it, and they've already announced who's playing Hellboy. I know it's not Ron Perlman, which is disappointing. It is David Haber of Stranger Things, which was the next panel, the Netflix Stranger Things panel in Hall 20. And the thing that surprised me, there are things that didn't surprise me. Matthew Modine seemed like permanently baked. Oh, I need to go back to something on Friday. Kingsman panel, a thing of amazement and beauty. Halle Berry, who plays Ginger Ale in The Kingsman, part of this, she's the tech person for the Statesman, downing a half a pint of bourbon, just downing it on stage. Thing of beauty. But back to Stranger Things. Like, the whole damn cast was there. Matthew Modine, who played the Doctor, watching that panel felt like he was, like, perma-baked. Like, just, like, this is his life now. When he's not on set, he's just baked. I have no issue with that. It was amusing to me. But the thing that, so we had David Haber, who, and this one was moderated by Patton Oswalt. And he was really good. Patton did a great job in there. Some points, some of his stuff fell a little flat. Mainly talking about Finn Wolfhard and his commentary relatively frequently about how Finn has like the perfect porn name. But David Haber was there. He was great. Winona wasn't there, but all the kids were there from Stranger Things. Some of the most articulate panelists, period, for Hall H on Saturday were the kids from Stranger Things. They were great. They were on point. They knew what they were doing. They did well. They did incredibly well. What was interesting about that panel was the first question from the floor, because they do a Q&A for most of the panels. The only one that really doesn't is Marvel. And the first question, the first person was literally from the actress who played Barb on the first season. She was not there as a panelist. I suspect somebody from Netflix made sure that she got in there. But she was the first person up asking if we would see Barb in season 2, and we got the answer no. But there will be justice for Barb. So Paul Reiser is joining the cast, so that's kind of cool. He's kind of taken over the position that Matthew Modine's character had in the first season. I'm really not I'm trying to give things broadly so that if you've seen it, you'll understand. If you haven't, it's not really a spoiler. And we got to see the trailer, which you have seen, that awesome trailer with the thriller voiceover from with that thriller voiceover by sorry, my brain is freezing because my apartment's not exactly a plays it. The swamp cooling and humid here in Mexico, so it's not doing a job of so a little warm in. Anyway, if you haven't seen the trailer, you can go see it. It's on YouTube. It's probably on Netflix too. So then we move on to Westworld. They've been shooting for a week. They gave us a couple of glimpses of things, and there are a lot of questions. It was a Q&A panel with Westworld. But in Westworld, next to that panel, is where we got our first free swag of the day from Hall H, which was this lovely bag. Westworld logo on it. And this poster, which is a little bit smushed because it had to go in my suitcase to make its way home. All of my stuff is a little bit smushed from how it should have been, but it's a nice Westworld poster. It's a season 2 poster because it's got spoilers for the end of season 1 in the background. Yeah. And there was, of course, an advertising card for the season 1 on Blu-ray, which I will be getting. I just need to get off my ass and order that. And then the big one, the granddaddy, the one everybody waits all day for. Marvel friggin' Studios. Everybody was worried that they weren't going to really show anything good because D23 was last weekend. No, the weekend before Comic-Con was D23, Disney's Expo. And they did get something great. They got the Avengers Infinity War trailer, teaser/trailer, which was amazing. And why can I say it was amazing? Because they showed it to us as the last thing at that panel. So the one more thing from Marvel was the Infinity War trailer, and it created a huge amount of pissed off people who had been at D23. Like, livid. Because they got the Infinity War trailer. We got footage from Thor Ragnarok and the new Thor trailer. I've seen footage you haven't, and then the trailer. A fight scene, a beautiful, awesome fight scene from Black Panther, and then the trailer you've seen. And what was great is the Black Panther cast hadn't seen that trailer and hadn't seen that fight scene, so that was their first time seeing it. But the thing that really pissed off the people who had been at D23 is what I'm about to show you, which was my second and final piece of swag from Hall H. Now, you've seen digital versions of these. Mine are rolled up because I had no way of getting them home safe otherwise. The Thor Ragnarok poster in all of its beauty. And the Black Panther poster in all of its beauty. It was a hell of a day and a hell of a panel. Now, not much to say for Sunday, because Sunday is brunch day. Since the last day, things are always going to be chaos, so me and my friends, we go to brunch at a little cantina near the convention center. If any of you who are watching go to Comic-Con next year, please feel free to hit me up. My information is down there. Or welcome to come the brunch. You are responsible for your own brunch, but you are welcome to join us. And then went, perused the floor. There were some panels that I was thinking about going to, but I didn't. So, now we go on to some more stuff. So, I gotta roll away from things to start out. So, I'm gonna show you a couple things that I acquired today that were technically Comic-Con exclusive, but I acquired them today because, and as soon as you see what they are, you're gonna go, yeah. So, as I'm sure you know, based on the fact that I've got this, for those who maybe watch after the fact, I've just want to link to my command on my pop, on my Funko collection. Funko is an incredibly popular booth, and it requires a ticket, much like Hasbro and Lego, to get into. You have to line up and get a ticket. Well, they start distributing those at 6 a.m. on a given day, and they have to be used for that day. And usually the line is full of people who are going to take their chance because they do it with a lottery system where you go, you can pull a number, and you'll either get a time when you can go to the booth, or sorry. So you could be the first person in line and not get into the booth. But usually you have to be there around 3 a.m. and then wait around until 6 at the earliest. So I went out today and made some acquisitions. I got myself Clara from Doctor Who. I got myself Mr. Clark from Stranger Things. If you haven't seen the show, or if you have and you're not sure who he is, he's the teacher who explains the Upside Down to them. I got Gwenpool with a selfie stick, because I like Gwenpool. And I got Elliot from Mr. Robot with the mask. Awesome thing. And then, not in the pop front, but still in the Funko, I got a rock candy of Gwenpool. So now we're going to go into the stuff that I actually acquired at Comic-Con. So, some of you may be surprised. I am actually an anime fan. I probably shouldn't come as a surprise. My favorite anime is one called Macross, that part of it was made into something called Robotech. It's the first part of Robotech. And so I went and I picked up a plush Lin Min May, which they only made 1,000 of them, and it's convention exclusive. Okay. It's not a Comic-Con exclusive. It's anywhere where Toonami went to. They had some of 1,000 of those. And then there's a company called Stance that's a sock company. Makes really nice, really high quality socks, and they've got a license to make Star Wars socks. And every day of Comic-Con, they had an exclusive pair of socks that were only available on that day at Comic-Con. I was only able to get the first 2 pairs. I was only able to get the Thursday and Friday pair. Thursday, Stormtrooper. It's kind of this really cool. Or sorry, this was Friday. Thursday was Boba Fett. It's like nice, like pop art kind of thing. And these are socks. These are nice, comfy socks. Pricey, but comfy. Nice. Then on Sunday, since I was a little bummed that I wasn't able to get the other 2 pairs that I wanted, I got Princess Leia, Slave Leia socks. Because socks. You can have socks. These are the same brand of socks that Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, wore on Star Wars Day, May the 5th, May the 4th. Some more non-exclusives. These came from a website that I just kind of learned about while I was there at Comic-Con, and I thought they were kind of cool. The Monster Scouts at monsterscouts.com. And I got some merit badgy stuff. I used to be a Boy Scout, big shock there. But you've got their Monster Scout, their Plague Doctor, Plague Medic patch. And then I'm going to open these up with you guys. Got 3 merit badges. I got Wicked Specs, 4-eyed Among Us, Werewolf. I have a thing for werewolves, and if we're going to do monster stuff, I'm going to have that one. And big shock, I'm on Twitch, gamer. So, I'm going to crack these open. Get the trusty opening sword. See if I can just get these out. Okay, they're the good, like, not like, no, they're the ridiculous, but. So each one has a code. You get the card with the code because you can register the stuff online. And then iron badge patch, and it goes. Just like a Boy Scout where you can the spirit badge. So that one was gamer. Up the werewolf. Because I got a bunch of stuff to open. Show off. Show some of the swag and some t-shirts. I'm not gonna bother with like the guidebooks and that kind of. The werewolf. Show that code. Werewolf. Yarwolf. Kid specs coming up. And sorry if I'm putting stuff over to this side of the screen. I've got chat blocking over here, but I can see everything that's over here. And I know it's kind of nice for people who are mobile who might have chat up because I am doing this on Twitch for you who may be watching after the fact on YouTube. Because if you're on mobile, the chat blocks this side of the screen. You got them both up. And then the Wicked Specs. And specs. For those bespectacled among us. Put these back in my paper baggie. So I can keep track of them. And then, of course, because it's Comic-Con, you're going to get handed stuff. So I got, from People of Earth, DC Experiencer's Guide to Aliens. And I have a spare one. If there's anybody in chat, or anybody who would like one, I have one to give away. I will mail it to you. You've got new messages, Commander. We'll probably run a contest for it, future stream. I got a thing from Tokyo Pop with the manga 2017 thing. Monsterverse Skull Island from Legendary Pictures. Skull Island Birth of Kong. And then when I got the cape, I got a free Comic Books Day DC Superhero Girls comic book. And then, and there's some normal stuff. I mean, it is still a convention, so I picked up, because they were decent and they were some stuff that I was interested in. Picked up the Danganronpa series on Blu-ray and DVD. It's combo pack for $25. I thought that was pretty decent. And for $20, I picked up Strike Witches season 1 and 2 because I'd been wanting to watch it, and I don't subscribe to any of those anime on service. But my first acquisition of Comic-Con was this. Now, if you know me, I've already, you know that I already have the EV Fry Pop. I actually pre-ordered it way back in the day. But I was able to acquire this, which I now have in a case. Probably can't see it very well. But this pop, this lovely Evie Fry pop, is autographed to me by the voice actress of Evie Fry, by Victoria. So, super stoked to get it. It was in with my pop collection, but it's in a nice hard case, because if you get an autograph, you should protect it. Unless you don't care about it. If you're going to pay money for an autograph, which you do at Comic-Con, if you're going to get somebody's autograph, it's either part of a promotion you had to like line up for a wristband to get into that signing, or you're paying money for it, or sometimes both. And some other things that I picked up. We're nearing the end. We're going to go into t-shirts now. Let's go into t-shirts. We'll come back into statues in a few moments. So, I picked up the official Comic-Con t-shirt with Batgirl on it. I haven't taken a bag, but it's a version of Batgirl. And this was only available at Comic-Con. It's got the Comic-Con the San Diego 2017. Sorry, these are in their eats. It's another thing I haven't sat back and pulled them out, because I literally rolled into my apartment at 1 a.m. Slept, had to do some errands today, and now I'm back. Then I got the Red Sun Batman t-shirt. Probably the only DC t-shirt I can think of that I would own. And I mean, a lot of this stuff I could order online, but there's a certain thing about going to a booth and actually getting it from a person. And I picked up a Spider-Gwen shirt from We Love Fine. And also a Hatsune Miku one, because I thought it looked cool. So next we'll go on to some art. Because art... And I personally feel that if you go to Comic-Con, you should go to Artist Alley and pick up like 1 or 2 pieces of art, just for the sake of getting something from somebody small. So I got a nice Constance. Spider-Gwen Constance from Haunted Mansion. You can't see it because it's a little dark, but she's got the Haunted Mansion wallpaper behind her. And then I got Jin Kim art Soundwave favorite Transformer. Chibi Soundwave. Then there's a number 8 of 15. This other Soundwave artwork. And a nice larger Soundwave. Look at this art. Art. Or, as John Zoidberg says, I would like 1 art, please. 1 art, please. All situated back in there. And now we go on to kind of the last couple of things. 4 big-ish things, and then the second thing of the title, which you may have noticed, was an unpacking of stuff. So, picked up and the back of the box ended up a little worse for wear because of my suitcase, but it's the Play Arts Kai variant action figure of Black Widow. So it's a Square Enix designed version of Black Widow. Has a really, really nice action figure with 5 replacement arms, and a bunch of other stuff. So she has trombone. Nice figure. And it's basically a Square Enix took the design of Black Widow and made a figure of their own version of Black Widow. We have Toys R Us / Comic Con exclusive Ruby from Ruby. Those of Ruby. Which I was hoping the future would be here to see that, because he's a big fan of Ruby. Yeah, I have never actually watched it, but I knew it was I knew it was serious. And the opportunity presents itself when I was picking up X-23. But I had to have, because if you're in chat and you were unaware, I worked on Logan. Second unit. It was a grip, but I was there. Watched stuff being filmed. And the final kind of biggish thing. This is not a Comic-Con exclusive, but it was one that I wanted, and it was there, so picked it up. It's a Kotobukiya DC Comics Bishojo Black Canary. I'm not gonna take her out here on stream. I gotta find a spot to display her. It's a anime pinup style Black Canary. So, pretty darn cool to me. But then these. We got the last acquisition, but there's more to these than sitting here. These came out a while ago, but I've been completely unable to acquire them. Square Enix made a Final Fantasy trading card game, so like a collectible card game, Magic, Pokemon, all the Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all those. But the nearest place for me to get them was Texas, and I'm not going to Texas to get a card game. Sorry. No matter who makes it and how cool it might be. So I picked up a Final Fantasy VII starter deck, because I know there's nobody who's going to be able to be in Albuquerque to play, because if everybody in Albuquerque has to go to Texas to get them, no one's going to get them. So I might as well get them so I can see them and show them off. So I got the Final Fantasy VII starter deck. And we've got a nice foil cloud. I have no idea what the numbers or that means, because I've got instructions right here. But we're going to open up and see what we got. I got that, and then I got 4 of each of the booster packs that they did. They were doing booster packs and sets. There's the Opus 2 and Opus 1 booster packs. The Opus 1 have Lightning. Final Fantasy 13. The Opus 2 have Squall Leonhardt from Fantasy 8. And this looks like it's they're using the remake artwork Cloud here. My fan. But then you'd be hearing nothing but fan noise instead of my love. The dulcet tones. They've got kind of and I kind of dig this. On the back, at least, they've got kind of a bicycle-esque finish to them, like that nice texture. They stick together kind of solid. Looks like it's not really metallic; it's just a appearance. They're good quality cards from what I can feel. Break apart the thing. So we got a couple of clouds. And Zagan as a backup. Like I said, I know nothing really about the game at this point, but got Tifa. Kind of the classic scene of her on the jungle gym. 7. Bahamut Fury. Red 13 from the sequence. Full Freet. Class a Final Fantasy III Black Mage. Final Fantasy III Evoker, and this is Japanese 3 because that's how they do things. Oh, on the other note, while I was in line on Friday for a Hall H, I was one of those people who was actually able to order a Super Nintendo Classic Edition, and from Walmart, and mine has not been canceled. So, I like to think that's a good sign. Thank you, landscaping guy, for your use of the leaf blower. You have the Samurai from Final Fantasy Tactics. And we have several of these because these are pre-made. This is a pre-made starter deck. Magus, Final Fantasy III. Squire from Final Fantasy Tactics. I loved Final Fantasy Tactics. From Final Fantasy VII, Vincent. They're using kind of the classic concept art. We got the Final Fantasy VII Remake Wedge. Final Fantasy VII Remake Jesse. This one's a little dark even in person, so as you can see in person. Dark there. And then we got the Final Fantasy VII Remake Barrett. Ruffin. Of course, the remake Biggs, because you can't have that Wedge without Biggs. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions Dark Knight. Final Fantasy III Black Belt. Gollum from Final Fantasy Tactics. And then last, but certainly not least, from Final Fantasy Tactics, Punk. That's the starter deck for these Final Fantasy VII starter deck. There was a Final Fantasy X, 13. I think there's a 15 starter deck too. I just got 7 because that's the one that holds the most nostalgia, let's call it, for me. So now we're going to move on to the booster packs that are completely random, so you can see what's inside these opening stuff. I've never played the game. Never even had a demo to see how to play it. I wanted to do a demo, but because there were promo cards that you could only get if you played or had did the demo. But I wanted to save these to do an opening for y'all, and they were booked up on the demos, so couldn't do that. Missed out on the promos. But looks like we got some nice stuff. I love the quality of these cards is really good. I got a nice foil in here. Spoil that for you. I can see these and you can't. I got a Thief from Final Fantasy III Thief. Final Fantasy III Scholar. Tactics Monk. Final Fantasy III Viking. Final Fantasy using the classic concept artwork, Kate Sith. From Final Fantasy VII, the Chocobo. Samurai from Final Fantasy Tactics. And this one's going to be a little tough to show you, because this one's a foil. It is the Mime from Final Fantasy Tactics. That nice shiny foil. Nice shiny foil. Mime. Then we have the other Kate Sith. We had a version of the one from earlier in the pack. And then a Vincent that's different from the one that was in the starter, using actual like artwork version of him. I got Titus, Final Fantasy X. And then Y'shtola from Dissidia Final Fantasy Arcade. I have no idea how to tell the rarities. I'm going to assume the foil one was the rare. I'll discover in the future. And these are all from the first set, so it's the same as the starter deck, I believe. Oh, you can already tell there's another foil in this one. Might be one foil per pack. I don't know the breakdown. The pack contains 12 cards randomly taken from a total of 186 cards plus 216 premium cards. This pack does not include any rulebook. 78 common, 60 rare, 34 hero, 14 legend, and 216 premium. I'm going to guess the premium are the foils. So we have from Dissidia 012 Duodecim Final Fantasy Gilgamesh. From Final Fantasy III, The Knight. Also from Final Fantasy III, The Evoker. From Final Fantasy Tactics, The Knight. Also from Final Fantasy Tactics, Delita. The named characters from Tactics. From Final Fantasy III, Magus. And the Dark Knight. This one was much better foil to get, I think, than the last one. From Final Fantasy X, it's Kimari in the nice foily glory, nice foil glory there. Then from Final Fantasy XIII, Amadar. From Final Fantasy X, Yuna, not foil. Final Fantasy VII version of these. So many. And then Kuja from Dissidia Final Fantasy. So I think it says these Final Fantasy. I like this because it tells you what they're all from, in their respective other location. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what it says. Not as big a set, but still pretty bahonkin'. So now we'll open up. We only got a few more of these packs to go. And if you're not enjoying this, I apologize. I will probably cut part of this out for YouTube, maybe. Or I may subject them to sure. Geomancer from Final Fantasy Tactics. Side, it's got the Tactics. Final Fantasy 13 Chocobo Chick. Final Fantasy 3 Summoner. Fantasy Tactics Mystic. That's pretty cool. Final Fantasy 3 Devout. I'm going to try and skip through some of these if I know I've gotten them. Like the Evoker. I guess. Final Fantasy Tactics Dancer as our foil. I like this one. I've always liked this art. I got Squall. Furion from Dissidia and Final Fantasy II. This was cool. I was able to get Aerith. And then, strangely appropriate that we got the Chocobo Chicken here. along with Saz from Final Fantasy 13. And this is our last pack of the Opus 1. So then we'll get into stuff that we 100% haven't seen. Opus 2s. Got Zalban from Final Fantasy Tactics. Characters. Black Belt from Final Fantasy 3. And this one's strange because I think it's a different design. Yeah. I'll have to see what the difference is, but red evoker and blue evoker. Blue's the one that I had before. That's kind of cool. So a red evoker. Oh! And a yellow evoker. I have no idea what the red, blue, and yellow means, but Rasma from Final Fantasy 7. Or sorry, from Final Fantasy Tactics. A lot of Tactics characters, so I suspect there's a reason. Another blue evoker. Out. Okay, another premium that I'm stoked with. Yuffie. And then Sarah from Final Fantasy 13, which really more 13-2. Ghetto from Final Fantasy 13. Another Rasma. And Yulari. And so that is all of Opus 1 stuff. So that's the starter and the 4 Opus 1 packs. That's all that I've got from Opus from the original set. We start going into the expansion of the Opus 2. So the one that have Squall on the pack. And I also have 4 packs of these. We have from Disadiah Final Fantasy Duodecim Imitation Liegeman. Astrologian from Final Fantasy 14, which I've never played because it's an MMO. Ninja from Final Fantasy Tactics. From Final Fantasy 12, Mont Blanc. A Summoner. I'm gonna guess Final Fantasy 3. Yep, Final Fantasy 3. Semblance of a Lion from Duodecim Final Fantasy. Disadiah Duodecim Final Fantasy. I'm gonna guess has something to do with Squall. From Final Fantasy 4 for the GBA version, Sid Polonita. This one's kind of cool. The foil for this one, Black Mage. Black Mage. It's kind of a line from Final Fantasy 14. I dig that. Almost makes me want to play 14 because of that design. Then we got from Final Fantasy 10-2, we've got Pain. From Final Fantasy 12, Balias the Gigas. Oh yeah, MLT. Oh yeah. Again from Final Fantasy 12, Kukulin the Impure. Kind of reminds me of Oogie Boogie from Before Christmas. And then from Final Fantasy 12, Balthier. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that because I never played 12. A little bit more to go. Just one and 2 more packs, and we're done. Well, I've seen everything. If you have any questions about anything, any of the other stuff from Final Fantasy or from Comic Con, please feel free to ask. Through these real quick. You've got Zell from Final Fantasy VIII. Warren from Final Fantasy 12. Corey, thank you for that host. I really appreciate that. And we have a non-foil version of the Black Mage. We have the Imaginary Champion from the Sedaya Duodecim. Going to be Sephiroth, like. And we have a Ranger from Final Fantasy 3. Sorry about my lighting. Again from Duodecim, Dissidaya Duodecim, Gracious Thief, which is main character from Final Fantasy 9. Yeah, it's a TCG. It's a trading card game. Final Fantasy trading card game. My only problem is like nowhere in New Mexico sells them, so I picked them up at Comic-Con because I had the opportunity. So for me, they're collectibles because I have no one else to play against. Sorbet from Final Fantasy 12. And the foil is a summoner. Final Fantasy 14. Then Nero from Dirge of Cerberus. Yang from Final Fantasy 4. Bean from Final Fantasy N2. And then finally from Final Fantasy VIII, Fine. I have no idea what the colors mean. I haven't gone through the rules yet. I did get a starter deck so I could find out what the rules were. One of those things that if the opportunity doesn't present itself, it makes it a little difficult. What I figure is that if I've got these, I can go to comic shops and game shops here in town. Say, hey, you should get these. It might be useful. You might sell some stuff. Astrologian. Another ninja from Final Fantasy Tactics. Machinist from Final Fantasy 14. Again, sorry it's so dark. I usually have more light because it's usually night when I'm making these videos. As it will be when I do my Smuggler's Bounty later this evening. But this I just wanted to get out of the way. I promised people that I was gonna try and do some streaming from the line, and I just from like the Friday line for Saturday Hall H, but I just couldn't do it. Just the LTE signal around the San Diego Convention Center was poo because there were so many people there trying to use all the same. Final Fantasy 14. Fleeting Flash. I think this is lightning. You're wrong. Barbarous Simulacrum. A ninja from Final Fantasy 3. Red. From Final Fantasy 13, Jindal Nabat from Psycom. Our foil. Then Ormi from Final Fantasy X-2. Palom from Final Fantasy IV. Again, Ain from Final Fantasy IV with a better artwork. Arc from Final Fantasy III. That's right, yeah. And we're now on to our last pack. So we got our Time Mage. Bon from Final Fantasy XII. Another Zell. Rosa from Final Fantasy IV GBA version. Ward from Final Fantasy VIII. They gotta do everybody in these. I don't know if I showed him earlier. Birdie from 12. Fallacious Wanderer from Disadiah Final Fantasy. Disadiah Duodecium. Not sure what. And from Final Fantasy XII, Gramus is our. Fran from Final Fantasy XII. I like the artwork on these. I don't appreciate these. Mateus the Crypt from Final Fantasy XII. Leon, Final Fantasy X-2. And then the DS version of Palom, Final Fantasy IV. And we're back to our time mage, so that is the end of it. And so that does it for all the Comic-Con stuff. If you have any questions about what I saw at Comic-Con, anything that you were interested in, any of that kind of stuff, please feel free to ask them now. I will be back later tonight. I'm going to do an unboxing of my Smuggler's Bounty that I just got. It came in, I guarantee, while I was at Comic-Con. Yeah, I'll probably be doing some gaming, do some more Danganronpa. I'm going to give it a day so I can get my voice back to 100%. Screaming in Hall H was amazing. Melty, thank you for that bit. I appreciate it. Yeah. I also did go to HopCon beforehand, so if you have any, so on later streams, I will be happy to answer any interesting questions that from that, from the boss drinking old beers. But I thank you. I thank you all for being here. Corey, thank you for that host. Greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching this in my video on demands, just feel free to follow, and if you're not already, and or if you're watching me live and you're not following, feel free to. You can also go over to my YouTube, same name over on YouTube. It's over here on Twitch. Vice versa for YouTube. Come on over, follow me on Twitch. Might be entertaining. So yeah. Let's see if there's Halle Berry, a half pint of bourbon, Steven Spielberg, Ready Player One, Westworld, all the Marvel, Jason Momoa violating an NDA, and that's the reason why you guys don't get to see the Aquaman footage yet. Yeah, I think that covers it. Yeah, and any questions, please feel free to come back to future streams and ask them to me. It's a lot of fun answering your questions and seeing all you people. It's a thing of beauty to be here in this stream. I love to talk to you guys and be a little bit of entertainment. Before I go, people who are auto-hosting me. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed. See you again in the future. Take care.